We're still waiting for the impact of this to hit Shiba Inu, but what's crazy about it is the impact that we will see just continues to get larger and larger and larger because since prices were last consolidating similar to these levels, there is now 33% less Shiba Inu available on exchanges. And this is a huge, huge deal that will lead to a supply shock. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. Now understand, again, for context, I'm not saying this is going to happen today. I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow, next week, whenever, right? Nobody knows when the exact impact for this is going to be. And I'll get to this more in just a moment. But just to give you guys a little context right now, it's 8:25 a.m. Central Standard Time. US money has woke up. They're deciding to try to push the market down. And, you know, right now, Shiba Inu is still sitting within this structure. We're still floating around this trend line, which is a good spot to be. And again, I'd love for Shib to just stick right in this range. This is despite Ethereum just continuing to crap the bed, just continuing to dump. And I want to keep seeing a Shib show strength versus ETH here. And obviously, like we talked about earlier today, whale accumulation has been helping. Strong-minded conviction for Shiba Inu continues to be very prevalent. And this is all good stuff. This is good fundamentals, guys. This is exactly where we need to be. And what's interesting is, you know, Shib last consolidated around this trend back here in, you know, August, September, right before things started to get wild and Shiba Inu started to go on a run. And we saw a little bit of this supply shock start to hit Shiba Inu. It's what frankly allows Shiba Inu, despite it being a multi-billion-dollar asset, to move like a $100 million asset, like a $10 million asset. It can have days where it does, you know, 40, 60, sometimes 100% in a single day. I want to remind people that Shiba Inu back here just in March alone of 2024, or February into March, Shiba Inu did a 4.5x in just 7 days. That is a very strong move. And what's crazy about this is Shib can make an even bigger, more aggressive move as time goes on here. And the reason why is we have once again hit record low levels in terms of Shiba Inu available on exchanges. We are now down to 95,444 billion Shiba Inu. That may sound like a lot, but it's really not. Because first of all, what we are continuing to see is this trend of accumulation and removal of supply, accumulation and removal of supply. And the last time that Shiba Inu hit this consolidations or basically sideways zone, consolidation zone, yes, Shiba Inu had about, we'll say about 142 trillion Shiba Inu available on exchanges. Right now, that's 33% less than what was available back then. All right. Now, there are some discrepancies or questions about, you know, that 30 trillion Shiba Inu drop off day. So we may only be about 16 trillion Shib less, but still less nonetheless. And what's interesting about this is the more that gets removed from exchanges, the higher the impact will be when demand hits. All right. I'm not, again, saying demand is right now. We need buying to commence. We need excitement to commence. We need adoption to take place. And understand that adoption is what moves the markets to new highs. And right now, with the sentiment being basically kind of in the shitter, we're waiting for that sentiment to pick back up and start this wave of adoption. And you have to ask yourselves, where does adoption take place? It's not in DeFi. It's on exchanges. People going on Robinhood, Binance, Coinbase, you know, whatever they have access to, and buying. And again, we go back to this psychological aspect of it, right? When we look at these top assets in the space, what is the cheapest per se asset in the top 20, the one that is listed on all the exchanges in the world? It's Shiba Inu, right? This is a place that retail flocks to, but we need to have times where retail is flocking to exchanges, right? So where this really gets interesting is now that there is this much less available supply on exchanges, and we do see such extreme conviction from holders, how big do you think this impact is going to be? Well, I said that really weird. How big do you think this impact is going to be? We're talking about big numbers of X's. The 4.5x move that we saw back in March, February and March, may in fact just be child's play. All right. People want 10x's. They want 100x's. They want to see Shiba Inu to move to 1 cent. And while I've long said that I don't think Shib is hitting 1 cent this cycle, apart from maybe some weird unexpected things, I still think Shiba Inu has the potential to actually drop off 2 zeros by the end of this cycle. Shib has the opportunity for significant gains because of this long-term mindset, because of this removal of supply, because of the whale conviction and accumulation. All these things are really coming together nicely to paint this perfect picture for what Shiba Inu can look like. And remember, The last thing to always move is price. Price is always the lagging metric. I will always say that because it always ends up being true. I said that back here. I said that back here. I'm saying it again right here. This is where, again, a lot of people are going to mess things up because we're seeing such good fundamentals. And frankly, just the market isn't being conducive for these pumps quite yet. And understand that those times will change. The manipulation will end. Assets will start to move to the upside more freely. FOMO will ensue. We'll start to see some of this capital that's still parked on the sidelines. Actually, I want to just touch on that briefly. Some of this capital that's still parked on the sidelines start to work its way back into the space. You know, we have actually climbed to over 5% in terms of USDT dominance, which is actually the highest level we have seen since all the way back on election day. All right. This is wild. It is wild that there is this much capital on the sidelines waiting and watching and preparing for their moment to enter the space. How big do you think this impact is going to be when it does start doing that? It's going to be huge. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.